Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Book number
Hare
56 है
66
7.66 प्रभु जी.
ग्रेट नोट करके रखना ठीक है
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
थैंक
Hare.
यू जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरा भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरा भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरा भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरा भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरा भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरा भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरा भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरा भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरा भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा पूछीला तुम्हारा नाम। अरे हाँ, कुहू माता जी है क्या?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
हाँ,
जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। पूछिलो तुम्हार नाम श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य केशव भारतीर शिष्य ताते तुमी धन्य।
Translation. Translation and purport by His Evangelist A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. Prakashananda Saraswati then said, I understand that your name is Shri Krishna Chaitanya. You are a disciple of Shri Keshava Bharati and therefore you are glorious.
yes.
সাম্প্রদায়িক সন্ন্যাসী তুমি রহো এই গ্রামে কি কারণে আমার সবার না করো দর্শনে।
Translation. You belong to our Shankara Sampradaya and live in our village, Varanasi. Why then do you not associate with us? Why is it that you avoid even seeing us? Purport. A Vaishnava sannyasi or a Vaishnava in the second stage of advancement in spiritual knowledge can understand four principles, namely the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotees, the innocent, and the jealous, and he behaves differently with each other. He tries to increase his love for Godhead, make friendship with devotees, and preach Krishna consciousness among the innocent, but he avoids the jealous who are envious of Sri Krishna's Krishna conscious movement. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself exemplified such behavior, and this is why Prakashananda Saraswati inquired why he did not associate or even talk with them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed by example that a preacher of the Krishna conscious movement generally should not waste his time talking with Mayavadi sannyasis. But when there are arguments on the basis of Shastra, a Vaishnava must come forward to talk and defeat them in philosophy. According to Mayavadi sannyasis, only one who takes sannyasa in the disciplic succession from Shankaracharya is a Vedic sannyasi. Sometimes it is challenged that the sannyasis who are preaching in the Krishna conscious movement are not genuine because they do not belong to the Brahmana families. For Mayavadis do not offer sannyasa to one who does not belong to a Brahmana family by birth. Unfortunately, however, they do not know that at present everyone is born as Shudra, Kalau Shudra Sambhava. It is to be understood that there are no Brahmanas in this age because those who claim to be Brahmanas simply on the basis of birthright do not have Brahmanical qualifications. However, even if one is born in a non-Brahmana family, if he has a Brahmanical qualifications, he should be accepted as a Brahmana, as conferred by Sri Narada Muni and the great saint Sri Sridhara Swami. This is also stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Both Narada and Sridhara Swami completely agree that one cannot be a Brahmana by birthright, but must possess the qualities of a Brahmana. Thus, in our Krishna conscious movement, we never offer the sannyasa order to a person whom we do not find to be qualified in terms of prescribed Brahmanical principles. Although it is a fact that unless one is a Brahmana, he cannot become a sannyasi, it is not valid principle that an unqualified man who is born in a Brahmana family is a Brahmana, whereas a Brahmanically qualified person born in a non-Brahmana family cannot be accepted. The Krishna conscious movement strictly follows the injunctions of Srimad Bhagavatam, avoiding misleading, heresy, and manufacturing customs. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So now there is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will going to answer in humility, but now Prakash says, you know what has happened till now? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, first thing they were criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he did not pay respects to them. They are learned Shankara followers, and he was doing Nama Sankirtana and becoming very popular. And as such, as a nature of a living entity, became envious. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Ajnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashata Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is enjoying the nectar of chanting the holy name of the Lord. And these people are envious. They are criticizing. Chaitanya came to know. So what are the 4 features of a Vaishnava? Prabhupada says very nicely, increases his love for the Lord. That's what he's doing all the time. That is the first thing to do. What is the first thing? Increase your love for the Lord. When you're doing that, you'll also feel the Lord's devotees, you feel you can appreciate. That's a sign of somebody who's advancing spiritual life. He appreciates other devotees. Doesn't criticize, he appreciates. Appreciates, okay? Now that is for not for yourself. That is a horrible thing if you start appreciating ourselves. That we should not do. We appreciate other devotees, okay? Not ours. Oh, he is not appreciating me. That is not your business, okay? You do the business of appreciating other devotees. And then preach Krishna consciousness among the innocent, okay? That's what Chaitanya was doing, giving them Krishna consciousness. Name ruchi jive daya. When you actually have taste in the holy name, you also automatically develop daya, mercy to the, okay? And then he avoids who are jealous and envious. When there is no anger, he just avoids them. Such people are always there. Okay, so then the Prabhupada dwells on the topic. So the Mayavadis say you cannot take sannyasa unless you are from a Brahmana family. This is so deep rooted actually. People also say, I am a Brahmana, I am from Brahmana family. Kalau Shudra Sambhava. Kaliga, everybody is born a Brahmana, number 1. Number 2, it is said that the demons take birth in the family of Brahmanas in Kaliga. Therefore we saw all the atrocities they committed. Being birth Brahmanas. You cannot walk from the road because I am walking from this road. You cannot take water from this well because I am taking water from this well. These are demonic behaviors. The pride that they showed doesn't look at, they say we have a great ancestral heritage. What heritage? The kind of behavior is demoniac. That means they come from some demonic families. That's what the previous life demons are sometimes given birth in Kalyuga as Brahmanas. So much pride, my God. So anyway, so therefore we are not interested in this. In fact, Prabhupada says that we are giving Brahmin Diksha, that the people, therefore we made this criteria open for everybody now. In the beginning we were busy making all the temple devotees full time into Brahmanas. Now we have having done that, we opened it. Okay? The qualification is doing service to the Lord and maintaining Brahminical qualities. So therefore some time should be there, no hurry, at least Diksha 2-3 years should be there, and they come for seva, 1 week in the temple at least. So we have given you that opportunity, 1 week you have to come for service. Because that way, that time we can see your Brahminical nature. You are criticizing other devotees, he is not respecting me, these are not Brahmanas. So everybody gets Harinam Diksha, doesn't get Brahmin Diksha, because the holy name may not have worked. If the holy name has worked in somebody's heart, these things should vanish. And person should be very happy and peaceful. He is not peaceful, he is not happy, always disturbed if somebody doesn't honor him. No, that's not a Brahminical quality. Let him sit. But those who have developed Brahminical quality by chanting Hare Krishna, it is said we should not ask for Brahmin Diksha. We are asked. For Harinam Diksha we should ask. For Brahmin Diksha we should not ask, you will be asked. But one of the criteria to ask is that we should see, no, we don't even know. So he should come and do practical service in the temple, okay? So then we can consider, okay? You say I'm doing service in the local temple, then they can help you. Then they can help you in the Brahmin Diksha. But as far as I have to recommend, I have to no, because it's a severe reaction for the spiritual master if a Brahmin Diksha person doesn't follow. Correct? So at least we should know more confidently. So Brahmana is not by birth. Okay? Bhagavad Gita also says, what is the shloka? What are the qualifications of Brahmana?
Shamodamattapashaucham kshantirarjavamevacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma svabhavajam.
So there are 9 qualities. And the first 2 are most important. Control of the mind and control of the senses. If these 2 are not there, Shama, Dhamma is not there, then there is no Brahminical. So this has to be observed. So when you're going to observe, so therefore 1 week is good time, not 1 day, 2 days. We can observe and then keep coming for service like that. So then as a devotee said, Prabhuji, very nice, he developed Brahminical qualities. Then we will confirm it of Brahmin Diksha. Not like I have army one batch, I have 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. Sometimes we go into that trip. No, that is not needed. Okay. I remember when they asked me, you want to take Brahmin Diksha? I said, yes. Say, why? I was thinking in my mind, he will have thread and he will roam around like a hero. I don't have a thread. So I took Brahmin Diksha like that. So you don't do that. Is to commit ourselves more to serve the Guru and Krishna. That is Brahmin Diksha. Okay. Okay, so this I think is the fundamental principle of philosophy. Brahmana is not by birth. Prabhupada said that many Hindus are telling I am destroying Hindu dharma because I am giving Brahman and sannyasa to people who are not born in Brahmin family. And this is where when the power is limited, they play safe in this way. When you have a strong process, you can turn around anybody. Srila Prabhupada could turn around anybody to a Brahmana and a sannyasi. Yes, chalo, continue.
সন্ন্যাসী হইয়া করো নিত্য নর্তন গায়ন ভাবুক সব সঙ্গে লইয়া করো সংকীর্তন.
Translation. You are a sannyasi. Why then do you indulge in chanting and dancing, engaging in your Sankirtana movement in the company of fanatics?
Yeah, this is a challenge.
This is a challenge by Prakashananda Saraswati to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the object of Vedanta philosophical research, has very kindly determined who is an appropriate candidate for study of Vedanta philosophy. The first qualification of such a candidate is expressed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Sikshashtaka. Trinadapi sunechena taror api sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada harihi. This statement indicates that one can hear or speak about Vedanta philosophy through the disciplic succession. One must be very humble and meek, more tolerant than a tree and more humble than the grass. One should not claim respect for himself, but should be prepared to give all respect to others. One must have these qualifications to be eligible to understand Vedic knowledge.
Correct. To understand Vedic knowledge, these are the qualifications. Now, I tell you something, observation, that this is actually on a transcendental plane. Trinada peacefulness. Now, unless we rise to Krishna consciousness, we cannot artificially show that. We'll be very hurt. We'll start crying. Somebody says, hey, kya hai? Because they are having some estimation about myself, I am a very nice person. So this stage I told you in Karmis and even the Kanishtadhikari, this is there. But once somebody by chanting comes to transcendental platform and blissful Krishna conscious platform, then actually he can follow this. We're wonders, people are wonderstruck actually by a devotee having this humility. Taror api sahishana, more taller than a tree. Amani namanadena. There was this, I don't know whether you remember, India TV, there was a challenge. So they got a brahmachari and the parents, and the brahmachari recently joined without, the pleasure of the parents. So they got both of them on the TV screen, along with the president who was sitting, brahmachari sitting. And the parents were howling, shouting, abusing. The boy was sitting, and the people are appreciating. This is transcendental. He is able to take all that. Public is abusing, parents are abusing, he is silently sitting. Because that becomes the transcendental nature of a sweet devotee. Then he becomes worshipable. But Prabhupada says the first qualification. In fact, Srila Prabhupada was in India, so his godbrother used to meet him at his pharmacy, one godbrother. And he used to tell him in a very poetic way, I want to distribute one medicine to the whole world so that they can become Krishna conscious. But I don't have the formula. So one day he came and again the friend jokingly said, so you got the formula? Yes, I got the formula. He said, what is the formula? Trinatapi sunichayana, tarorapi sayushana, amani namanadena, kirtaniya sadahari. How can you give mana to somebody unless you appreciate it? Manadena. So wonderful, so wonderful. Then naturally comes for a Krishna conscious person. Trinatapi sunichayana. Beautiful.
বেদান্ত পঠন ধ্যান সন্ন্যাসীর ধর্ম, তাহা ছাড়ি করো টেনে ভাবুকের কর্ম।
Translation. Meditation and the study of Vedanta are the sole duties of a sannyasi. Why do you abandon these to dance with fanatics? Purport. As explained in regard to verse 41, Mayavadi sannyasis do not approve of chanting and dancing. Prakashananda Saraswati, like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, misunderstood Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be misled young sannyasi, and therefore he asked him why he indulged in the association of fanatics instead of executing the duty of a sannyasi.
Yeah. So not only that, I think in some religions also music, dance is not accepted. Even Mayavadis, all religions, Kali Yuga means Mayavadis only. We are God. They are not clear about distinction God and us. All khichdi. The Trinity concept is also more or less it is now Mayavada only. Everything is gone. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is therefore they don't understand why chanting, dancing is the most pleasurable activity actually. People feel so happy, you know. And meditation, a study with the sole duties of a sannyasi. There's so much pleasure, you know. That's all we should do, no? Isn't it? Meditation, a study of Vedanta, no? And we should do Sankirtana. You know, sometimes being, because Prabhupada says in the beginning, all the devotees have impersonalist tendency. What do they have? Impersonalist tendency there. So we think, क्या है मंदिर में जाके कीर्तन करना है ये सब, मैं बैठ के शास्त्र पढ़ेगा हूँ. And this is the kind of tendency that Prakash Saraswati is having, and we also have that tendency. Think क्या है? And you know, they were thinking he is a bhavuka. Bhavuka means sentimentalist. Now they do not know. Krishna conscious emotions are not material emotions. There is a difference. But what to do? People are like that. You see, therefore, unless you are in the middle of Kirtan and you are even 100 meters away, there is a lot of difference. When you are in the Kirtan with the devotees, chanting, dancing with the devotees, there is so much ecstasy, correct? Say you are 100 meters away, there is nothing. So you do not know what it is unless you are in it. You do not know. You do not know. Therefore, the Mayavadis are not having the taste. Yeah.
প্রভাবে দেখিয়ে তোমা সাক্ষাৎ নারায়ণ, হীনাচার করো কেনে ইতে কি কারণ?
Translation. You look as brilliant as if you were Narayana himself. Will you kindly explain the reason that you have adopted the behavior of a lower class family? Purport. Due to renunciation, Vedanta study, meditation, and the strict regulative principles of the daily routine, Mayavadi sannyasis are certainly in a position to execute pious activities. Thus, Prakashananda Saraswati, on account his piety, could understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not an ordinary person but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sakshat Narayana. He considered him to be Narayana himself. Mayavadi sannyasis address one another as Narayana because they think that they are all going to be Narayana or merge with Narayana in the next life. Prakashananda Saraswati appreciated that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already directly become Narayana and did not need to wait until his next life. One difference between the Vaishnava and Mayavadi philosophies is that Mayavadi philosophers think that after giving up their bodies, they are going to be Narayana by merging with his body, whereas Vaishnava philosophers understand that after the body dies, they are going to have a transcendental spiritual body in which to associate with Narayana.
So there is something to be noted here. These are genuine impersonalists. Now today, most of the organizations, they are not even genuine. If you ask, scratch them, they say we are following Shankaracharya, most of the spiritual organizations. But actually if you study, they are not following anything. They are all watered down spiritualists. But strictly following, you see that strict regulative principles and study of the Shastras, they are in Sattva-guna at least. Because somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, devotee Prabhupada, they always talk about Sattva-guna. How do you get Sattva-guna? Prabhupada said, strictly follow the regulative principles. That's it. Why don't you make a life like that? Whole day, Brahmanishtam. Tasmad Guru Prabhadyesa Jigyasu Shayam Shayam Uttamam Shabde Parecha Nishthatam Brahmani Upasamashayam. So you want to reach the second line, you should be only fixed. I'll hear only Prabhupada. I'll hear him. I'll keep reading, hearing. I'll not do anything else all day. You'll listen samadhi on Prabhupada's statement. You may be working, but whole day Prabhupada said that, Prabhupada said that, Prabhupada said that, Prabhupada said, Acharya said that, Acharya. Your mind can be in that platform. Won't that be so beautiful? Life will be so peaceful. So, these people asked, so they asked Prabhupada how to be Krishna conscious, Prabhupada, to be Sattva-guna. Prabhupada strictly follow. So they were strictly following regulative principles, and because of that, Mano Virama, they could appreciate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay? Another thing is that then, why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not come immediately do Nama Sankirtana there? Okay, anybody can tell me? Why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have to do philosophy discussion? Why did he start with the, hey Prakash Ananda, you repeat, repeat after me. Hare Krishna, Hare, all of you, repeat. Why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not do that first? Any guess?
Wanted to use Shastras to prove his point. He had good argument. Basically.
Very good. See, very good. But see what is happening in their mind, there is a block, there are offenses. When there are offenses, the Harinama will not give pleasure. You understand? Correct? And they are offensive. And at the same time, they have mental block. They are thinking this is all bhavukas and all. It's not that they heard, they also saw the Sankirtana happening, people dancing. So everybody was chanting and dancing with them. Okay? That will be there, that comes in one place. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, everybody is taking mercy, the benefit of the Krishna consciousness movement, but the Mayavadis. Mayavadis, they are sitting there, they will not be able to take benefit. So he wanted to remove the mental blocks. You understand? Appreciate? Because the Mayavada Bhasha hue, Sarvanasha. They were destroyed by being adherents of Mayavada philosophy. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does that. Appreciate this point. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada also said, all the scientists when you meet, we should not directly first present Krishna consciousness. Many a time we present scientifically, we preach to them. We call them bridge classes. Therefore, Prabhupada created something called BI, Bhaktivedanta Institute, where they can talk scientifically to the scientific community. So their mental block gets over, and then they can also chant and dance with the devotees. Okay? You appreciate this point? Okay? Mayavada, atheism, all these are kind of mental blocks. So sometimes devotees understand, so why do we have to understand? Just like you see Srila Prabhupada have that book where Srila Prabhupada every day morning talks about dialectic spiritualism. That was the book in America. It became a big furore because Prabhupada took on all the leaders of, just like in India, there will be few people who are considered like the biggest heroes of Hinduism, correct? Suppose somebody comes from the country and he philosophically defeats all of them. They will be shocked. That's what Prabhupada did. He said, Shyama Sundar and other devotees, tell me, what is the philosophy of this fellow, Darwin? Prabhupada, they said, this is correct, but this is nonsense. What is this fellow? Then, okay, tell me the philosophy of, one by one, he took up their spiritual heroes, their other heroes who have spoken something, and Prabhupada smashed their philosophies. And that is Jagat Guru. And then, so then what happened at this movement, when the book was printed in big furore, because people felt, this fellow has smashed everything. So in India it is printed with some other name now. I don't know what is the forgotten the name. But that's there. Okay? So sometimes, therefore, why Prabhupada was doing that anyway? He didn't have business to show I am the greatest. No. Because removing the mental block, mental block. He removing the mental block so that they can without any offense and hear the holy name and take full benefit. Okay? Any other reason you feel? And also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came very humbly there, so trying to, remove their offenses. And moment they became, see, they are so sweetly asking him. Now they are not shouting. In his presence, they are overawed. So sometimes it is good to go and have a conversation. Somebody has become envious and jealous of you. He said, I like to sit with you. When you sit with, talk to him, the ice will break and then things go away. Sometimes without communication, so many difficulties come. Hare Krishna. थोड़ा समझ आता है इंग्लिश? चलेगा ना? अभी क्या कर रहे हैं इंग्लिश का? ये ऑनलाइन में हो रहा है क्लास, ठीक है, no problem. Okay, you appreciate this point. Sometimes it helps. Now suppose somebody has become envious of you. होता है ना, कभी कभी हमारा कोई दुश्मन बन जाता है, तो उसको बोले यार तेरे से बात करना है, जाके बैठ के बात करो, आइस ब्रेक हो जाता है ना, इवेपोरेट हो जाता है. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has gone to a place and these people are so envious. So Chaitanya was saying, can I talk to you? So he arranged and he went very humbly. So they are also touched in the heart. And now the conversation is, why don't you sit with us? See how respectfully they are asking. Prabhuji, why don't you sit with us and chant? You look like Narayana only. But Prabhupada is saying, because of their piety, dry grass will burn. Like Bhagavad Gita also, it says you look at different levels. Can anybody tell me Bhagavad Gita, what are the different levels? In the 12th chapter, 8, 9, 10, 11 shloka. Yes. And anybody knows the shloka Kantastha? He is the hero. Anybody knows? Okay, at least tell philosophically what are the 4 levels Krishna talks there.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Start.
First one is Ananya Bhakti.
Yes, very good.
Then Sadhana Bhakti.
Yes.
Then Nishkam Karma Yoga.
Yeah.
Then Sakam Karma. Then
Yes.
Dhyan and Jnana.
Okay. So you can understand this, okay? So 6 levels now. So what is happening, he says, if somebody, the highest is, highest consciousness, somebody is samadhi on the Lord. Therefore, such acharyas, like in South India we have Kanakadas, Tukara, Madhvacharya, Hana, why they have worshipped? Samadhi on the Lord, highest consciousness. But if you cannot do that, you should do sadhana, next level. Sadhana मतलब जो हम लोग कर रहे हैं, भगवान का नाम सुबह सुबह उठते हैं, जप करने का, सेकंड लेवल. अब वो भी नहीं होता है, हम साधना भी नहीं कर सकते. तो कभी कभी फेस्टिवल में आते हैं, अच्छा लगता है, ठीक है, वो करो, है ना. एंड वी अप्रिशिएट, एंड कुछ मदद करने का, भाई आई विल हेल्प इन प्रसादम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, ये सब लोग करते हैं. हाईएस्ट इज एब्जॉर्प्शन, नेक्स्ट लेवल सीरियस साधना. लेकिन सीरियस साधना भी नहीं होता हमसे, तो चलो यू कैन अप्रिशिएट थर्ड लेवल. बट यू कैन नॉट डू द फर्स्ट 3, देन द फोर्थ वन कर्म सर्व कर्म फला त्यागा, pious person. Just like in the Mayavadi, they given up all their attachments and everything. They are studying, live strictly following rules and regulation. That is good if it helps you, because the dry grass will easily burn. Okay.
Translation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied to Prakashananda Saraswati, "My dear sir, kindly hear the reason. My spiritual master considered me a fool and therefore he chastised me." Purport. When Prakashananda Saraswati inquired from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu why he neither studied Vedanta or performed meditation, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu presented himself as a number one fool in order to indicate that at the present age, Kali Yuga is an age of fools and rascals in which it is not possible to obtain perfection simply by reading Vedanta philosophy and meditating. The Shastras strongly recommend Hare Nama Hare Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Nama Iva Kevalam Kala Na Seva Na Seva Na Seva Gatiranyata. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. People in general in Kali Yuga are so fallen that it is not possible for them to obtain perfection simply by studying Vedanta Sutra. One should therefore seriously take to the constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord.
Okay, constant chanting of holy name of the Lord, because see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many people, if we have that tendency, वो भी उपनिषद पढ़ना है, वो भी समझना है, वो भी मैं भी विद्वान हो गया. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, वो सब छोड़ो. He says, I am a big fool. So is it just like in Bhagavad Gita, we know Arjuna says, I cannot do Ashtanga Yoga. अभी बहुत पॉपुलर है, सब लोग स्पिरिचुअल में क्या करते हैं, मेडिटेशन करते हैं. लेकिन जब कृष्णा प्रेजेंटेड टू अर्जुन Ashtanga Yoga, I said, Krishna, I cannot do that. It's not possible. Chanchala mana Krishna, my mind is so chanchala. So he's actually representing a typical person, and he's saying it's not possible. If Arjuna cannot do, we cannot do. So similarly, becoming great scholar of the Vedanta, which people do not do, but generally they think that is the highest thing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying, I am a fool. My spiritual master said, you are a fool number one. What Vedanta you study? Chant Hare Krishna. Correct? So that is the direction for everybody. Okay? Kindly, my spiritual comes, therefore he chastised me. Let us see what is the chastisement.
Translation. You are a fool, he said. You are not qualified to study Vedanta philosophy, and therefore you must always chant the holy name of Krishna. This is the essence of all mantras or Vedic hymns. Purport. Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj comments in this connection. One can become perfectly successful in the mission of his life if he acts exactly according to the words he hears from the mouth of his spiritual master. This acceptance of the words of the spiritual master is called Shrauta Vakya, which indicates that the disciple must carry out the spiritual master's instruction without deviation. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura remarks in this connection that a disciple must accept the words of his spiritual master as his life and soul. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here confirms this by saying that since his spiritual master ordered him only to chant the holy name of Krishna, he always chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra according to this direction. Krishna Mantra Japa Sada Ei Mantra Sara. Krishna is the origin of everything. Therefore, when a person is in fully Krishna conscious, it is to be understood that his relationship with Krishna has been fully confirmed. Lacking Krishna consciousness, one is partially only available or related with Krishna and is therefore not in his constitutional position. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the spiritual master of the entire universe, he nevertheless took the position of a disciple in order to teach by example how a devotee should strictly follow the orders of a spiritual master in executing the duty of always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. One who is very much attracted to the study of Vedanta philosophy must take lessons from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this age, no one is actually competent to study Vedanta, and therefore it is better that one chant the holy name of the Lord, which is the essence of all Vedic knowledge, as Krishna himself confirms in Bhagavad Gita 15.15. Vedeshcha sarvet ahameva vedyo Vedanta krit veda videva chaham. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of Vedas. Only fools give up the service of spiritual master and think themselves advanced in spiritual knowledge. In order to check such fools, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself presented the perfect example of how to be a disciple. A spiritual master knows very well how to engage each disciple in a particular duty, but if a disciple thinking himself more advanced than his spiritual master gives up his orders and acts independently, he checks his own spiritual progress. Every disciple must consider himself completely unaware of the signs of Krishna and must always be ready to carry out the orders of the spiritual master to become competent in Krishna consciousness. A disciple should always remain a fool before his spiritual master. Therefore, sometimes pseudo spiritualists accept a spiritual master who is not even fit to become a disciple because they want to keep him under their control. This is useless for spiritual realization. One who perfectly knows Krishna consciousness cannot know Vedic Vedanta philosophy. A showy display of Vedanta study without Krishna consciousness is a feature of extended energy Maya. And as long as one is attracted by the inabilities of this ever-changing material energy, he deviates from devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. An actual follower of Vedanta philosophy is a devotee of Lord Vishnu, who is the greatest of the great and the maintainer of the entire universe. Unless one surpasses the field of activities in service to the limited, one cannot reach the unlimited. Knowledge of the unlimited is actually Brahmagnana, or the knowledge of the Supreme. Those who are addicted to fruitive activities and speculative knowledge cannot understand the value of the holy name of the Lord Krishna, which is always completely pure, eternally liberated, and full of spiritual bliss. One who has taken shelter of the holy name of the Lord, which is identical with the Lord, does not have to study Vedanta philosophy, for he has already completed all such study. One who is unfit to chant the holy name of Krishna but thinks that the holy name is different from Krishna and thus takes shelter of Vedanta study, in order to understand him, must be considered a number one fool, as confirmed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by his personal behavior and philosophical speculators who want to make Vedanta philosophy an academic career are also considered to be within the material energy. A person who always chants the holy name of the Lord, however, is already beyond the ocean of nations, and thus even a person born in a low family who engages in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is considered to be beyond the study of Vedanta philosophy. In this connection, Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.7 states, Aho batashva pachato gariyan yah jivvagre vartate nama tubhyam te pustapaste juhu sashnurarya brahmana churnama grananti. If a person born in a family of dog eaters take to the chanting of holy name of the Krishna, it is to be understood that in his previous life he must have executed all kinds of austerities and penances and performed all Vedic yajnas. Another quotation states, Rugvedo atha yachurvedaha samavedo api atarvanaha Adhitasthena yonakvam harir iti aksharadvayam. A person who chants the two syllables Hari has already studied the four Vedas, Sam, Rig, Yajur, and Atharva. Taking advantage of these verses, there are some Sahajiyas who, taking everything very cheaply, consider themselves elevated Vaishnavas but do not care even to touch the Vedanta Sutra or Vedanta philosophy. A real Vaishnava should, however, study Vedanta philosophy. But if after studying Vedanta one does not adopt the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, he is no better than a Mayavadi. Therefore, one should not be a Mayavadi, yet one should not be unaware of the subject matter of Vedanta philosophy. Indeed, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited his knowledge of Vedanta in his discourse with Prakashananda Saraswati. Thus, it is to be understood that a Vaishnava should be completely conversant with Vedanta philosophy, yet he should not think that studying Vedanta is all in all and therefore be unattached to the chanting of the holy name. A devotee must know the importance of simultaneously understanding Vedanta philosophy and chanting the holy names. If by studying Vedanta one becomes an impersonalist, he has not been able to understand Vedanta. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.16. Vedanta means the end of knowledge. The ultimate end of knowledge is knowledge of Krishna, who is identical with his holy name. Chief Vaishnavas, Sahajiyas do not care to study Vedanta philosophy as commented upon by the four Acharyas. In the Gaudiya Sampradaya, there is a Vedanta commentary called the Govinda Bhashya, but the Sahajiyas consider such commentaries to be untouchable philosophical speculation, and they consider the Acharyas to be mixed devotees. Thus, they clear their way to hell. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay, so now try to understand. Srila Prabhupada has, in summary, said something very wonderful. Okay? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, my spiritual master said we are a fool. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not a fool. How do you say that? Do you know one conversation he defeated somebody? Whom did he defeat? At the childhood, at Nimai Pandit. Huh? Very good, very good. He defeated Keshav Kashmiri when he was a small child. You know, so he's not a fool. He's very learned. So he's giving us an example. And we say, Vedesha Sarva Ahameva Vedya. If somebody has understood Vedanta, he should become a devotee of Krishna. But if somebody is not becoming a devotee of Krishna, that means he has not understood Vedanta. But at the same time, Srila Prabhupada is saying, somebody is chanting Hare Krishna, you should cram the shlokas. Okay, Vedesha Sarva, you understood? Ahameva Vedya. Okay? And this shloka we should all remember. Okay? Anybody know the shloka Kantastha? Aho Bato. Anybody knows this? Chalo. Anyway, sing the shloka nicely. Anybody can sing it? You can sing by seeing also. Yeah.
Aho pachato gariyan yajvajiuhagre vartate namatubhyam te pastapastu juhvai sansura arya.
Chalo, finish it.
English में
Brahmana.
नाम गृह्णन्ति एते.
Okay, so this is actually glorification of all the devotees. Suppose you are so fortunate, you are chanting the holy name of the Lord, it is not possible. Even though this person is born in the family of a dog eater, among different eaters, lowest is considered dog eater, okay? Meat eaters, lowest is that. So he said, doesn't matter even if he come from that family, this person is so glorious. Why? Just tip of the tongue, holy name is sitting. Now sitting doesn't mean occasionally coming. Sitting means sitting. Doesn't go Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It is there on his tongue, you know. I was just analyzing, I was asking somebody, why don't you chant Hare Krishna? He said, all the time it is going on. I said, Baba. So actually in the beginning of spiritual life what happens, when you are chanting Hare Krishna, there is no taste. We struggle for chanting. And we are thinking about material things, all sinful activities, all material desires. We are thinking about that even during the time of sadhana. And during the day, we are absorbed in material activities and our whatever. But when you become an advanced devotee, what happens? During sadhana time, you are only thinking about sadhana, and during the day, you are remembering the sadhana. Today the darshan was so sweet. Today the prasadam was very wonderful. वो तो याद रहता है. Today the kirtan was ecstatic. My japa was nectarian today. Oh, Bhagavatam class was very nice. So these things you remember whole day that memory goes. That we have to come to the stage. So many people say, Pura din chal raha hai. That's not ordinary, it's extraordinary. Don't say that artificially. Mostly people say artificially. Okay? Not genuine. Pura din chal raha hai, a genuine person is reverse. Even japa time, mental desires are going on. He's not honestly being introspective. If he's so fortunate, that's great, but generally we are not honestly introspective. So this shloka glorifies. Okay? He must have done all the tapasyas, tepas tapas, juhu. He must have done all the yagnas, Sashnu Arya, he must have taken bath in all the holy places, Brahmanuchur, he must have studied all the Shastras. To Nam Grananti, he is chanting your holy name. So that is considered very auspicious, somebody chanting the holy name of the Lord. But Prabhupada is warning that just because this glorification is there, is not that you don't study the Shastra. You should study the Shastra also. Okay? Then you become Sahajiya. If you don't chant the holy name of the Lord, you become a Mayavadi. You are studying Shastra but not chanting, you become like Prakashananda Saraswati. And you become simply proud. I have studied that, I have got that degree. But on another side, you are chanting the holy name very nicely, dancing in Sankirtan, but you should also study the Shastra. You should understand the philosophy. It's very important. So therefore Prabhupada says, okay, if you have chanted, if you have studied all the 4 Vedas, just by chanting the word Hari, all the 4 Vedas you have studied. So now, taking advantage, Prabhupada is saying, you can become Sahajiya. Yeah, I'll not need to study Shastra, I'm chanting Hare Krishna. No, you should study. Therefore, we should one side chant Hare Krishna, Prabhupada says, other time try to understand who is this Krishna, whose name I am chanting. Both are needed. So we do sometimes only one. Okay? So we should study, and this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he is going to speak about Vedanta philosophy. Prakashananda Saraswati will be smashed. He cannot answer. Okay? So this is there. Okay? Okay, great. Enough for the day today. We'll continue. Actually चैतन्य चरित्र 2-3 घंटे का होने का ना, इतना शुरू ही होता है खत्म करने का, क्या करें. We will meet next Sunday. Whenever we have Atul Krishna Prabhu is not taking class, we'll continue CC reading. ठीक है? चलो.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
We'll have more classes on Chaitanya Charitamrita from the beginning, Adi Lila, Madhya Lila, Antya Lila. Can we have a regular classes if someone is taking?
You can and different languages. I encourage now the language leaders, they can start the book readings. They can just read together. Okay? You can create reading group. Okay? So there is some reading groups have started. More can be there. Even 2-3 people together read. Say read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Somebody wants Puja Vrinda Mataji says. Some people can join me. We can read together. Read the books. That will be very nice. One devotee was there. He got a stroke. He was doing that very nicely 2 times in a day. 3 hours reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, 3 hours reading Bhagavatam. Anybody did that with him?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Shisha Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
He was many people.
Class we used to attend, Prabhu.
3 hours Bhagavatam, 3 hours Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Prabhu. We
So
finished
you-
with him only. We
So you
finished
people
the
can.
whole, Chaitanya Charitamrita and Krishna book also in the night, Prabhu.
Very nice. So make groups. Somebody take initiative. Already many groups are there. Make as many groups you want. When you are free, even 2-3 people are there together, you can read the whole thing. Okay, books. Alone difficult. Together you can read it. Association it is sweeter also. Okay. Even small group of 2 people will do. So find somebody and do that. Read Prabhupada books whenever you have some time you are free. Okay. Hare Krishna. Chalo darshan. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, राम राम राम
कृष्ण
हरे
कृष्ण
राम
हरे
हरे कृष्णा
हरे
राम
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 हरे
राम
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 राम राम
हरे
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 राम
कृष्ण
राम
प्रभु जी
हरे
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 कृष्णा हरे
राम
कृष्णा
राम
कृष्ण हरे
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 हरे राम हरे राम राम
हरे
राम
हरे
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 हरे हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण